S&P 500 and NASDAQ are rising again after hitting all-time highs last week. Um, how do you think the rest of the week will pan out?
I think the week will be amazing. I want to be very clear. The companies that are doing extremely well, NVIDIA, AMD, are rising. The ones that were doing okay are starting to get some steam. We were talking about it before we went live. A lot of companies are starting to retool what the next decade looks like. Since I started investing in late 08, 09, this is probably one of the strongest classes of companies that I've seen pre-IPO or publicly traded. I think that the consumers have gotten smarter than ever. I think this class of retail investors are almost as smart as institutional, which that gap has closed dramatically, in part due to this show. But I think the rest of this week, month, and year will be absolutely fine. I know some people have readjusted their targets, but I have the ES going to 66.44, 55 by September at the latest, and I think best case scenario for next year is 71.35. This week is going to be fine. This quarter will be fine. This year will be fine. Hold for the long term.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be a big week. It's already kicked off in a pretty nice fashion when we talk about some of the smaller cap stocks that we spoke about here. But I mean, you have the biggest hyperscalers in the world, part of the Max 7, which pretty much moved the market, are reporting. So you got Meta and everything that I've read, the earnings is going to blow out the quarter again. You got Microsoft, you got Amazon. And then, I mean, we mentioned Apple last, but think about 2 years ago, if that would be the case, which is also reporting. And signs are showing that they're picking up some steam in China. For the first time in 3 or 4 quarters, they are starting to see growth in China again. So all those companies that traditionally have moved the market will be reporting. I expect it to be a pretty solid week. I know, August is Friday, and traditionally August hasn't been great. And that probably will see a pullback, as we've seen a perfect week just happen, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later, where every index had a positive week. But these gains, this isn't something that's going to be a fad. This is going to be here for a little bit. So we should be definitely taking advantage of it, getting into some positions. I know we hate doing them all at all-time highs, and so always have reserves because there will be a pullback. But yeah, I think this week's going to be a good one.
And the August pullback that we normally get every year, we got in April. So we won't have as deep as it. Will we have a pullback? Yes. Will it be as deep as last year? Probably not. Given the change in who's running the White House.
Yeah.
But the dip that we normally would get in August, we got through April. If you made money from there, please put yes in chat. I love you all, but that was a great entry point into the market for crypto, hyperscalers, tech, and even companies that are tech adjacent. I feel like the entire market is just running up from those April lows, which goes back to asymmetric risk to reward. And when is your margin of safety baked in? Please put that in chat. Like, where can you invest that it's almost guaranteed that the market does not go down further from that point? That week of April 8th was really that week for us. So, and more importantly too, don't worry about your investments week to week. You need to focus year to year, minimum time frame. But you really need to be looking at a 5-year period. I know everybody can't hold for 5 years, but if you don't, it's going to be one of the biggest mistakes that you make in your life.
Yeah. You know why it's important, and shout out to Sam. He put Celestica in the chat, and we were talking about it before the show started. There's something about the psychology when you enter an investment and it starts off positive. You just feel better, right? Whereas I've taken calls and it's down 10% within 2 hours, or it's down 15% within a week. So a lot of people who were in our options class and who were watching Market Mondays last month and were like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm going to be starting now. To have some of these trades start off positive is great, but I agree with you, right? We're in these things for the long term, right? We're in this until 2026, late 2026, some of this 2027. But to start off positive always gives you the confidence that, you know what? All right, if I do the right research and I actually do the work, these can be some tangible results. So shout out to them. I see some people putting that day up in their AMD calls as well. Yeah, we're here for the long run, but starting off positive is important.
So when should people invest in the market?
To be very frank and to toot our own horn, when we tell you to on the show every week for free. Hedge funds charge you 2 and 20 minimum 3 and 30 is becoming more normal. If we're looking at let's say QQQ, invest with Invesco, I would look to invest at 559.51 as an
Oh,
entry point.
can I do something in real time?
Of course.
Yo, what's up, my brother?
Yo, what it do?
Yo, you on live on Market Mondays right now.
Shout out to Chance.
Can you call in or no?
Yeah, I can. Man, these kids be going crazy. Give me like 45 minutes.
All right. Tell me when you're ready. I'm gonna send you a link. All right.
Real time.
Real time. Kids getting dinner, probably getting their bath right now.
Because no, it's a reason why I want him to call in. Because sometimes we gonna say things, but you need an outside voice.
Point of view in real time.
Time perspective on things. Okay, so if somebody has $50,000 right now sitting on the sideline, wait or just go in. Just go in.
No. Price always matters.
So wait.
Yeah, because you don't want to gamble. So like 555.48 QQQ is the area I would like to enter. So regardless of how parabolic or how quickly the market is taking off, you always want to invest in a particular price. I know some people are going to be like, well, what if it eludes me? Corrections happen every day, especially like I talked about it last year at InvestFest. But even if you look at the hour chart, you will have a time to get into the market every single day. Like Friday, like the 564 range would have been good to get in. Today, 566 would have been good. So you always want to have a dedicated price where you want to get in. Let everyone buy at a dumb price, and you buy at a price where you're almost guaranteed return. If you listen to me, that'll happen for you. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. But even if you're looking at the market in real time, just look 20% down or 23% down from where it is and look to invest in if you're investing in tech or especially crypto.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And then we get some seasoned investors. I'll ask your opinion on this as well. What about dripping into a position where it's like, yeah, I have 50,000. I know we're at all-time highs. It didn't get down 20%, but it might get down 10 instead of the 50.
I'm good with that.
I might put 5 here, right? And when it really hits those barriers or those metrics that I have for myself, whether it's 20%, 30%, then I might drip a little bit more into that position. Because sometimes we'll wait for it to get to 20% and it's not coming.
And it's not there. Right. You can leg in definitely a quarter at a time for sure. So if you want to do 10,000 for your initial run, or let's say if you're afraid, you can do 5,000. Then it goes to a point where it really drops and the news is hot. Anytime you have breaking news on CNBC is usually a good time to invest. Then you can leg in with 10 or 15,000, and then when the market starts to take off a little bit, you can finish off there. And opposed to martingaling is adding money when you're down. As the position is going up, you can start to add money in that way. So you'll be a-okay. But once again, time frame of when you hold in, because I keep going through all the lessons from InvestFest, and I've been talking to people in private equity, pre-IPO, and on the equity side. Everyone who's made, like I'm talking, they have like 50 to 150 liquid. Everyone's like 7-year hold minimum, 10 years is ideal, but anything under 5 is a mistake.
Yeah. I bring that up only because literally what happened to me, right? Like I remember years ago saying I'm gonna get into Chipotle, and when it pulls back, 2018 was a great time when they had that the E. coli and lettuce. Unfortunately, for anybody that had it, had issues because of it. But from an investment standpoint, this was the pullback. And then from 2018 up until, they split. It was a constant just run up. And now they're trying to figure things out, obviously with a new CEO. And so even like a Netflix feels like it's gotten to that position where it's like, well, it dropped 1%, but it may not drop 20%, right? So there's also that type of strategies you can use.
But you can have a 20% drop on a 4-hour or 1-hour chart.
This is true. That's true. That's not for freshmen.
No, that's strictly for live men or those who invest and go to InvestFest or join Red Panda.
Salute to Joe Button.
Shout to Button.
Yo. Number 3 with a button.
My dog.
Joe Button, man.
Hey.
He out here running the bag up.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
One day on Blackout, we're going business model key. Major key. Keep all the
don't-
equity inside. Ooh, boy.
You don't say.
Shout out to my brother Ian Swart, the other Ian.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, nah. Shout out to Joe Button, man. He's doing the blueprint. He's doing the blueprint for sure.
Mhm.